with Riku and me all the time. We played together on that island. His voice always used to be there, and now it's gone. I can't think of his face or his name. I feel awful.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is I, Shark300. I have arrived again for the Just a Meme stream number 25. Today, as the title tells, we will be talking about a couple of very interesting things. Right-wingers, demographics, brown people, white people, and America's ever-changing political landscape. All on the docket today. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited about what we're going to do today. My brain has been melting for the last couple of hours. I tried to piece the disjointed arguments of these sorts of people together into one cohesive thing that I can talk about, and it is wild. It is wacky as well, but I'm glad to be doing it today. I wouldn't be doing anything else. I got food. I had to go buy it again because my dogs ate it. I took a shower and I forgot to, I left it on my desk and my dogs ate it, and I was very upset. So that's why I started streaming, so I had to run out and get more food. I was munching on it, you know? No alcohol today. Absolutely none. It's just me. Bright-eyed, warm-cheeked, ready to go. All right. What is this graphic on screen, you say? What is this graphic on screen, Shark? What is it? Oh, I hear an echo. No echoes. You ask, what is this graphic? Shush. This graphic, non-white, non-Hispanic whites are 89% of the Republican Party. Now that's wild, right? I knew it was high, but I didn't think it was this high. 89%. That is extremely high. That is over 20 points of what the white demographic is in this country. Non-Hispanic white demographic is in this country. Is extremely high. And why? Well, that's because the Republican Party over the last couple of decades have been marketing themselves almost exclusively to white people, and not just with their rhetoric, because in recent times they're trying to outreach to non-white communities, right? Now Trump, you know, the blacks for Trump sort of thing, Hispanics for Trump, they were trying to make that a thing as they actively crap on all of these sorts of demographics and communities. But actions speak louder than words, and I think most people can feel that. And most people feel like, especially in non-white communities, feel like the Republican Party is absolutely not on their side when it comes to their interests, when it pertains to what's going to benefit them. Because even when Republicans have control over the politics in an area where non-white people are, non-white people do not benefit in those communities. They actually perform far worse. We can look at Georgia, right? Why would a black person in Georgia vote for the conservative party, the Republican Party? Why would they do that? Think for a second. Think for one moment. Why would they do that? I can't think of many more reasons other than they just grew up conservative, and that's just what they do. Because a lot of people vote how they were just born. Oh, I was born in a conservative household. Most people are just going to stay that way. It just stays that way. For a lot of the times, your political leaning usually comes in, in your more formative years as you grow up. After you're out of high school, usually, after a couple years in the college, usually the political stance that you have is the one that you're going to keep for the rest of your life. People don't change their political stances that often. So geography plays a big role. But other than that, I don't see why people would, right? Why black people would in Georgia. We can look at, what was it, the 2018 election where the attorney general, just like who was running to be governor, he did become governor, completely destroyed all of the precincts in African American neighborhoods. Completely destroyed them. Purged a bunch of people out of the voting rolls, off of the voter rolls. Voting machines were uncharged and unplugged in lots of places. Horrible management, where you would assume it was horrible management, but it was all part of the plan to suppress the black vote as much as possible. Now, are these the sorts of people who are going to have your best interest in mind if you're black? I would hazard to guess the answer is no. And yet, with America's changing demographics, pandering to only white people has become less and less of a viable strategy, and they're starting to pick up on it, and they get really mad about it. They become very upset because to them, a less white America is a worse America. It's a socialist America. It's a dirty America. It's an immoral America. It's a bad America in general. And they don't like it, right? What do they say? They're importing the third world. Legions of barefoot, Ebola-ridden subhumans crawling into America. This shining white castle on a hill. They're dragging their disease-ridden bodies up into the shining gates of this beautiful country and destroying it from the inside out. That's what they think. And they say all these things, or they imply all these things, about the same sorts of people who they're going to have to be fighting to get the vote of in the next couple of years. Because it's true, right? Texas is changing. Texas is going to be, if it's not already, going to be the first majority Hispanic state in the country, right? And with all this talk about we'll get into it. I don't want to jump the gun too hard, right? I don't want to jump the gun too hard, but they just don't like them. And now they're starting to realize that they can't just rely on the white vote anymore. And they're getting scared and they're getting extremely mad. Let's watch a couple videos. Hello, everybody. It is I. This is a video from Aaron Clary, right? He has 56,000 subscribers. And he made a video. It's called What to Do If America Turns Socialist. And as you can see, he's putting on his very best white person face to this is a dog whistle if you didn't know. This is a dog whistle to reactionaries. It lets them know that he's on their side. little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, I'm joking. It's just this weird face he made at the beginning. Okay, back on track. Can we focus? All right, focus. My ADHD is kicking in. Okay. So, America's changing, right? Demographics are changing. You know what they like to say over there? Demographics are destiny, right? And they think America is doomed because these brown people have crawled from the dregs of the earth here to destroy America, and it's going to turn socialist. And you know what that means? Venezuela. And we all know about Venezuela. Oh, do we know about Venezuela? So he's going to talk about this, and he's going to ask, what do we do? What do you do? He's gonna put down a 10-step plan for anybody who has to freaking get going on what to do if America turns socialist. And we're gonna go through some comments as well, but let's listen to what the boy has to say. Let us listen.
Yawn. Wow.
Beautiful. Now that's praxis.
I guess the Russian sneeze really funny. Someone's telling me, oh my God, you ever hear a Russian sneeze? I'm like, no, actually, I haven't. No, they sneeze in Russian. I'm like, oh. I wonder if they yell. Let's get this closer. Get the fucking Christ, Clary. Jesus.
No swears.
Perhaps after it. If socialism definitely comes to America, say in the form of Ocasio-Cortez presidency, when she's old enough to run, what do you think the best course of action would be? Fight or flee? When I say this,
When the Puerto Rican woman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez finally ascends to her rightful throne in the Oval Office, she will destroy America, and all white people will be rounded up and put into the forced feminization camp, where they'll all be turned into like transes. Yes, your day is coming.
this, I mean, not the soft socialism we have now in the form of half the federal budget going to half. It's 2/3 federal, state.
Good. I'd much rather have 2/3 of the federal government spending going into like helping people improve their lives due to the economic instability we've made for ourselves in this country than like war or corporate bailouts or anything garbage like that. I'd much rather have this be the case. It was 99%. Sounds kind of chill to me. Infrastructure, social safety net, and we're just booling. But we don't have that.
In local, you look at it.
And they hate
it's
it.
interesting how they parallel together. And I know this would be crazy to ask you leftists to look at a budget. We're not paying.
Yes, I hate looking at budgets. I almost hate looking at budgets as much as I hate looking at this guy's face. But we're doing it anyways, aren't we?
The fair share. What is the fair share? Do you know what they're paying in the first place? It's not enough. Shut up. Go back to college where all the idiots are.
Oh yeah, these guys, they hate college. They hate it. They hate college with a burning passion. They're like, everybody who gets sent to college is just going to learn terrible skills, no skills, and they're all going to be walking out indoctrinated. They're going to be modern century freaking Marxists, only with less beard because they drink too much soy, so they cannot grow beards. I can grow a beard. I just work in the food industry, so I have to shave it. I cannot wear a beard. I kind of want a beard. I think it'd look good on me. I'm losing weight. I'm gonna get a nice chin. Get like a little beard on my chin. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. You know, a lot of people say I have a baby face. I don't think I have a baby face, but apparently people think I have a baby face. I think the beard would help with that. But you know, we all suffer sometimes, right? But anyways, like this guy.
I have a degree. You're smart. No, you're really not.
Yes. Because definitely people who have degrees don't benefit a lot from society from their degrees. I'm still pretty sure that on average, people with at least a 2-year degree will earn like $10,000 more a year than people who only have a college degree, right? Or not only have a high school degree or less. $10,000 on average. And if you have a bachelor's degree, 4-year degree, I think it's like $20,000 more a year. So it is a benefit, and it's still important to go. I'm going to go back to college, or at least some sort of higher education. I know that much at least. But you know, he hates college here. We hate college here. Remember that. College man bad.
The generation where a high school diploma became more valuable than a college degree.
That is very untrue.
But real hard socialism where property is being seized and assets in industry are being nationalized. I'll answer this if fight or flight.
No, that's not true. That's what we call state capitalism, my boy. But okay.
you flee, dude. Because here's the thing. I'm gonna explain this to you. You're not. This isn't some foreign country coming in, or some dictator coming in, or somebody. Although some of them do stuff ballot boxes. Americans have voted this in. Now, you didn't vote this in. Half the population didn't vote this in, but more than half the population voted for the most corrupt woman ever to run for office, Hillary Clinton. Not saying Trump was a great alternative B.
You know what? You know what? He's got a point. More than half the population did vote for the most corrupt woman who's ever run for president. Probably. I'll be fine saying that. But a little far less than half the country voted for the most corrupt man to run for president. And he won. So blah, 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 stones, blah, 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 glass houses.
But people voted this in. It was the same thing. What was his name? Turd Flaming Monkey, I think, was talking about this. How the socialists in Venezuela, the communists,
he's doing it. Ma Venezuela. Ma Venezuela. Now, I don't have the history to talk about everything that happened in Venezuela. So I'm not going to pretend that I can like debunk literally every point. But the biggest problem in Venezuela wasn't socialism. It was the government mismanaging all of its funds and a severe lack of where to bring the country. And also a lot of foreign interference. We love our foreign interference.
They are getting.
Boy,
exactly
how do we
what they
love our
deserve.
foreign interference?
Because everyone voted in Chavez. Now, Chavez also tried to do a coup, but people voted him in. They then killed or excommunicated or kicked out all the capitalists, all the non-communists. So now all you have is a country left of communists. Vote for social.
I'm not going to let him talk about this because I can't. I don't have all the information on me to debunk it. So I'm not just not going to let him say it here.
Reason with them. Convince them. You're not going to convince them. You're going to have because they're impervious to logic. I just was talking to somebody, and it is amazing how.
Bro, impervious to logic. Impervious to logic. Says the boy who thinks that going to college is actually worthless.
Little thinking, leftists and Marxists, and just millennials and younger people in general. You cannot get through to them, so you can't talk to them. They're going to vote that way no matter what.
See, this is one thing that you see pop up over and over and over and over again when people are talking about this sort of stuff. Let me go to Big Cam here. All right. So you can see my beautiful sweater. You like my sweater? I thrifted this sweater. I got this from a thrift store. I get a lot of compliments on it. I hope everybody likes it. I think it's very nice. It's Chaps. You can't see the logo. Here we are. It's Chaps. I think it's a nice sweater. I really do. I do indeed. But we're not here to talk about sweaters, okay? This is what they think about these people, right? They're biologically hardwired not to be conservative, right? You can't talk to them. You can't logic with them. They're just here's what they do, right? It's a way of dehumanizing them to the point where you don't see them on the same level as you, right? It's the same thing that the hello dog. You see my dog? He's over here like, what are you doing? He's over here like parkouring around my room. Anyways, where was I? My train of thought has gone off the rails. It's a way of dehumanizing them to the point where you feel like you don't need to talk to them or engage in any sort of like real debate because they're not anything that you can. They're not on the same brain level as you. So there's no reason to look at them as people, right? They're just numbers. They're just numbers, and they are creatures that just that just need to be defeated, right? They're not people with hopes and dreams and aspirations and a want for a better place. Because honestly, I think a lot of Republicans, just regular old Republicans, I think you can reach them 100%. I think you can reach them. I don't think that they're if I ever say that this people or that people are subhuman, that's just hyperbole. I don't believe many people are above talking to, especially in your regular political space. I don't believe it because most people are mainly apolitical and have just been fed a lot of propaganda, and then you can poke a lot of holes in their ship's mast, and you can make them think your way. In due time, you can. A lot of people are extremely malleable, right? But they don't like to see that because it's easier to dehumanize them and put yourself and your ideology on a pedestal, right? It's the same thinking that that like the fascists and Nazis do, right? The Groypers, the Groyper boys, right? It's like their blood gives them a plus 10 intelligence bonus and plus 3 dexterity, right? It's ridiculous what they think, but they think it, right? And everybody else is not as gifted as them, and they are the perfect embodiment of what a human being should be, and everybody else is a Chinese rip-off copy. And this is just how they see the world and how they see other people, and they don't want to think of it as any other way, because when they do, they have to think about their actual problems. They don't want to think of they don't want to fix anything, right? It's the same way that Turning Point USA has gotten a lot of flack from the even further right of his ideology, like the Nick Fuentes types, because I don't know if we didn't go over this, but it was like a whole bunch of just fascists went to Turning Points USA, which is just your regular run of the mill corporatist right wingerness, and they were like, so how do you think that letting homosexuals bone each other in our offices is gonna help us win the political war? And this is just how they think. It's crazy. They're crazy people, right? Like, what do you that was like almost verbatim an actual question that was asked to him. And he was just flustered. He was like, what are you talking about? Because he brought on stage a black gay conservative because he wants to do the outreach, because he's not dumb. He realizes that people are changing, that, be like saying the F word and being super crappy to any sort of other minority isn't cool anymore. So we're going to have to bring these people in somehow. We're going to have to appeal to them, but they don't want to, right? Because they see nothing wrong. They see nothing wrong, and anybody who doesn't vote for them is not a problem with optics. It's not a problem with ideology. It's not a problem with getting out to vote. It's a problem with the people themselves, because they're degenerates, because they're corrupted, and they're not okay, and they need to be defeated because they're just creatures, right? My dogs are trying to kill each other in the other room. It's just what dogs do. What can you do? And we'll see that later, right? We'll see that later. But let's get on with the rest of this. With a little bit more of this video, not the rest of it.
They're not reasonable. You can't reason with them. And then on top of it, they're over half the population. What are you gonna do? Kill them all? Man, kill all.
Oh wow! The first thing that pops to this man's head is kill them all. What are you gonna do? We can't reach these college-educated young people. What should we do? Kill them. The first thing that comes to this man's head. And you wonder why right-wing extremism is the ideology that's killing the most people in the modern day.
All days, jobs nowhere near done, or some kind of quote like that. So now what you got to do is you got to start thinking a little bit more Machiavellian. Not so much opportunistic, but self-serving in the laws of reality. If the environment and your tribe has become so hostile to freedom, low taxes, individuality, free speech, that you can't stop, you can't save it.
Let's rewind. Let me rewind here. Let me go over these points.
The laws of reality. If the environment and your tribe has become so hostile to freedom.
Yes. Because more brown people means less freedom. Because we all know the Democrats hate freedom. I mean, just look at how they don't care if trans people exist, right? Freedom. Excuse me. Tell me more about freedom as you're pulling away rights to as they are openly hostile to things like the 14th Amendment and women's rights to vote. Tell me more about freedom, buddy. Tell me more.
Low taxes, individuality, free.
Low taxes. These guys always have like a hard on for just like, it's just government bad. Anything the government does is bad. They think the same thing about socialism, right? Anytime the government does a thing, that's a socialism, and it bad. They do socialism and it bad, but they're just, I don't know. You throw the same. I wanna talk to them and be like, what do you think about a road? The government does that. I think, just publicly funded highways. We should have a standard for highways so we can get to so we have good interstate commerce, right? I'm not sure if they care about that. It's socialism, and it's bad. They don't have any sort of nuance. They're really dumb. I do not respect them, and I do not like them. But I feel like in this country we have, excluding McCarthyism, right? We have a very bad view of the government, and obviously that stems from like our founding. We have a very bad view of the government for a lot of good reasons as well, right? I mean, the government today doesn't help people. Why is that? It's Republicans' fault. Democrats as well, but they're not as bad. Nowhere near as bad as Republicans on a lot of issues. They are also bad. Not near as bad. Why do we not have a public option? Republicans. Why is things like a medical debt and what I'm trying to think, college student loan debt, why is that so hard to get away from? Even if you go bankrupt, it'll follow you. Republicans, how do we fix these problems without trying to get over Republicans? Always roadblocking to good solutions. Always. If we get the Democrats to move on anything, which is super hard, Republicans are there to stonewall it, and then it gives the Democrats a good reason to not follow through with it. Just anything the government does is bad. Like, the government can do good things. They harp on and on and on about the Constitution while they actively try to or they actively don't care about what it says. Like, actively. Donald Trump is the most anti-free speech president I think we've ever had. Mr. Donald, I would like to rewrite libel laws so I can sue people for saying bad things about me over the internet. J. Trump. Holy crap. I don't think they even can comprehend how horrible of a sentence that is, coming from the commander-in-chief of the most powerful nation in the world. That's incredible. Yet they love it. They lap it up. They lap it up because they don't care. It's all virtue signaling. They don't really care about the Constitution. They'd rip it up in a second if it means they get their way. And I think just listening to the Constitution, point blank, is also dumb. We don't need to. Why? So we can impress some dead slave owners who existed 250 years ago. Laws do not dictate morality. And if we feel like there's a law that shouldn't be and it doesn't reflect our values, we should overcome it. But they don't believe that, right? Because a lot of the original tenets of the First Amendment help to reinforce their like a backwards ideology about the world. So they don't want it replaced. They don't want it amended. That's why the Equal Rights Amendment today is so hard to get passed. It probably won't.
Free speech that you can't stop, you can't save it. So I would flight. I'd go somewhere else. And we'll go into that later here. But I just want to point that out. It's fully.
I love it. I love how doomer these kids have become. He's so doomer. They're all so doomer. That's it. We can't do it. There's nothing we can do. We tried so hard. We called them rapists and murderers, and then they won't vote for us. We tried to strip them of their rights, and then they wouldn't vote for us. I don't know how you can reach these people. Oh, woe is me. It's time to leave. Oh, no. Poor baby.
Because especially do you know how long it took to get the fucking boomers to finally pull the R lever when they came to voting? Hey, wait a second. The 70s suck. Carter sucks. And then they went right back to Bill Clinton, and he was a soft Democrat. Now, holy shit, the millennial, you think the millennial, Gen X?
Clinton
Gen X
bad.
is finally waking up a little. Hey, wait a second. Our professors lied to us.
See, he just... That was ableist. Don't do that, okay? Not on my watch. But once again, college bad. These people, they just think college is bad because they know when people come out of college, they become way more way more liberal. They know that for a fact, and it is a fact. People, when they come out of college, the more highly educated you are, the more likely you are to be liberal. That's just true. That's true, because when you're exposed to new ideas, when you're exposed to different people, when you're exposed to different ways of viewing the world, you're like, maybe being conservative isn't so sick and cool and awesome and amazing, because a lot of their ideas are based on just pure ignorance. It's like you shine a light and all the cockroaches go just scurry back under all the furniture. That's what happens when you go to college. You have all these cockroaches of bad ideas that you have lingering around due to just not being able to not having your ideas be challenged. And once you come through college, you get your ideas challenged, and they're like, maybe I'll move on this, maybe I'll move on that, and then you just slowly get moved further and further left.
Okay, I guess I'll just vote for light socialism. And that is why she gets along with the young and stupid. Is she dangerously ignorant and naive, but she is charismatic and personable enough to connect with ignorant millennials and Gen Z?
They're talking about AOC here.
No, she is not charismatic or personable.
She's very charismatic and personal. I like it when she was doing her little dance. You see her little dance? Remember when everyone the Fox News tried to get on her for like dancing back when she was in high school, and then she did a little dance outside of her room in the Congress Hall? I thought it was cute. She's cute. She's cool.
Still fuck it up somehow. Once their gimme dats and their travels and their things and their purses and this stuff, once their stuff is starting to be taken away, they'll get mighty pissed. They will get mighty pissed.
Wait,
and you
excuse
can
me?
even have oil like Venezuela does it. They still fuck it up somehow. Once their gimme dats and their travels and their things and their purses and this stuff, once their stuff is starting to be taken away, they'll get mighty pissed.
I'm not sure if he means literally being robbed, but if he did, that's a mad racist. That's a mad crazy.
They will get mighty pissed. And then they'll vote for a different socialist that says the thing, but I'm gonna bring back our planes. And give them a planes. But we'll make it free. And then the planes will go away because free doesn't work.
Oh, he thinks they're trying to like ban planes. I remember, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but there was like Tucker Carlson brought on this like climate change dude, and he was like, the Green New Deal. Oh wait, wait, let me see if I can do it, because Tucker Carlson always has this really stupid look on his face. He's like, the Green New Deal said that they want to obliterate cows and planes. What do you think about that? And the dude was like, well, I mean, planes do burn a lot of gas, and gas can, contributes to climate change. So we should probably work on reinventing the way we travel. And he was like, so you're saying that planes are racist, bro? And he was like, no, I just mean we should just, maybe work on developing things like electric planes. And then he said that, and Tucker was like, you think planes can be electric? Nice one. Well, I think that's all the time we got. Like, bro, holy crap. He was super indignant about the ability for planes to be like electric. It was wild. He was a crazy guy. I hate Tucker. He's really dumb. We'll watch a little bit more of this video and then move on, because there's other things I want to get to.
But yeah, I don't think those. She is truly an idiot. It's not. It's an insurance policy. You're not gonna make money on it. You're hoping you're not making money on it, because if you're making a lot of money on it, that means like the place you live went to shit. Costa Rica. The score higher on the economic freedom indices than the U.S. I'm also looking at the Philippines and certain parts of Canada, which may ironically be freer than AOC's America in the future. I doubt it. They're the Canadians are importing enough immigrants labor.
Oh yes,
Aaron, you think-
yes, because immigrants don't work. They definitely don't, contribute more to this, more to society than many places in rural America. I'll tell you that much. Those Republican strongholds, those Social Security sinks, those welfare queens in rural West Virginia, they definitely don't do more than them.
They're coming there to work. Some are. All right, let's talk about asses. They'll talk about countries. Yeah.
But you think? Oh yeah, he probably thinks that people just come here, right? They come here, pretend that they're pretend that they're refugees or whatever, because every person who comes here is apparently a refugee, I guess. And they just like sit at home collecting food stamps while the poor white working class man works. He toils away only for his earnings to be stolen from him. Stolen from him by the federal government and given to these swine who do nothing for society.
The easy way to do that is cryptocurrency. And what's kind of
Oh, he's gonna talk about, and he just thinks we need an escape. We need to get out of here.
See this now happening in the United States. Like, who's the most disadvantaged? Well, I'm black and female and lesbian and I'm in a wheelchair. Fuck you, I got the Trump card. Oh yeah? Well, I am all those things. Plus, I am mentally disabled. I got the head-to-heads or the social anxieties. Oh my God, well, we got them. And they do. They promote people who are most disadvantaged to whatever bullshit.
Well, yes, because intersectionality is just you throwing down a bunch of Uno cards with like a picture of someone who has a problem, like a minority. You throw down pictures of minorities until you get the freaking mad reverse Uno card, and someone's like, "Well, I have autism," and you go, "Oh, he wins." Pick up the whole damn deck, boy. Let's look at some comments. Where's my thing? What is this? Control your music? What the heck? Where's my thing? Ah, here it is. I need to update my stuff. You know, update Google. I hate you, Google. If we're already living in a country where the government is half the GDP, sick, super cool. I love it. Sounds great to me. Sounds great to me, boy. Hey, Splat, how you doing? And the only well-paid jobs that last are government, healthcare, or something else insanely overregulated by the government. Your cat likes you more now? What happened? What'd you do to it? Did you feed it a little bit of salami? But only a little bit, though. You give her some salami? And yes, all cats are hers. You pet it every day? Oh, that's cool. Respect your cat, boyo, okay? It'll love you back. Insanely overregulated by the government. I bet these guys think that the food industry is way too overregulated. These guys are crazy. Or pet him. It's a him. It's still a her. All cats are female in my heart. And all ladybugs are boys. There's no inflation unless you count taxes, tuition, or housing or healthcare, which can ruin you financially. Yes, this is socialism. This is socialism. This is definitely not a product of capitalism or poor trade policies or automation. No, this is a product of socialism. Everything is a product of socialism. We're pretty socialistic already. From Social Security to food stamps and WIC or tuition or Medicaid or SNAP or to public schools to daycare, for millions of other things I can't remember. I don't know how common socialism is. I'm not sure if he's trying to say any of these things were bad, because all of these things sound pretty sick to me. And they're probably like anything the government is into is socialism and is bad. Like, I don't understand what sort of and one thing that they'll try to do, don't fall for this, okay? If you're listening, don't fall for this. What they'll try to do is be like, hey, well, in Bernard Sanders is socialist paradise. If places like Sweden and Denmark, they have even less regulation than us. Well, because people take care of it by themselves. They don't need the government to watch over them as like a little babysitter to make sure, hey, are you poisoning your Twinkies? Hey, are you throwing paint thinner in the local water streams? Please don't do that. Hey, you probably shouldn't price gouge people. Hey, you probably shouldn't be making your workers work 19 hours a day. Hey, they should probably be able to use the bathroom. I poison you poison your Twinkies? Don't do that. Don't do it. But if you do, to each their own, and send me one. And me. Make sure you don't put lead in the water pipes, please. Make sure you don't throw neurotoxin into the air out of your factory, please. Make sure you give your workers like breathing and respiratory aid when they're stuck in mines, please. They don't need that. because they have unions taking care of it. They have strong unions, but they hate unions and they hate government regulation even more. So the only way that they're going to get this done is by not doing it at all. They don't care about it. If you suffer and die because your work is incredibly ridiculous to you, then, sucks to suck, I guess. There's someone here pretending to be Venezuelan. There's a reason why I kept my Australian passport when I emigrated to the U.S., bro. All right. Solidarity with my Australian brothers. R.I.P. Australia. I don't know if that one's going to work out for you, buddy. Wait a couple more months. I'm not sure if there's going to be Australia to come back to. You vote your way into socialism, but you shoot your way out. Antifa? I'm talking to you. Emigrated? Emigrated. It's emigrate. Isn't it? Is that right? No, yeah. Is that the correct way? Because immigration and emigration, I'm not sure. We type. No. Yeah, I think he should have used he should have used emigrate. He was right. No, he was right. It's emigrate. Emigrate is when you leave your country to go to somewhere else. Immigrate is when you, I don't know. We'll figure it out one day, okay? Hey, Adam Plays. How you doing, bud? Today we're talking about the good old. Wait, is my chat working? I don't see messages. Hey, Splat, do you see messages coming up on the screen? I don't see messages coming up. How am I? I am very good. We're talking about the great, basically the great replacement, but for milquetoast right wingers. Your chat's not working. I thought you knew that. I didn't know. I told you. I always tell you. Tell me if something is wrong. Yet you never do. Done. Huh. Why is it not working? It's not working. Oh, thanks for the follow, buddy. I really appreciate that. Oh, I'll have to fix it later off stream. Yeah, they do seem really familiar. Socialism is inevitable. Texas and Florida will turn blue sometime in the next decade or even sooner. There are also a few red states that are in the early to mid stages of blue colonization. This is how they're gonna phrase it. Oh, 100 sparks. What are those? I'm not on Mixer too much, so I'm not sure about that, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for those 100 sparks. They wanna view it as it's the poor white people living their own lives, toiling away for a better future, and then these sick depraved third worlders crawl into their country and then colonize it. It's imperialism. It's brown imperialism. But this time, it's John who's going to suffer. How ridiculous. These LARPy losers, I hate them so much. The GOP will swing far to the left in an attempt to compete. Honestly, I'm excited. I agree with that take. The GOP will have to swing to the left, which is great because they're basically far right now, which is crazy. Why are conservatives so cynical? There's no evidence that the nation wanted to turn left right now. And he replies, This is where I say the really doomer. Mixer, it's like Twitch, but blue. You know how Twitch is purple? Mixer is like Twitch, but blue. It's really cool, actually. My favorite color is blue. Demographics of destiny. He's not wrong. I live in Florida. Went to a New Year's fireworks show and heard virtually no English. Non-whites overwhelmingly vote Democrat and overwhelmingly have more kids. I was watching the television and the ACLU came on. There was a commercial that had written, in 8 years I will vote on the forehead of a 10-year-old girl. There's their strategy. And they are right. They terrorize the lemmings and cattle into voting for them without question. Like I said, they believe that that people can't be reasoned with, and they think of them as just creatures that need to be dealt with instead of people with thoughts and opinions. And they dehumanize them, so it's easier to hate them. I'm amazed at what Trump has been able to do to sway minority voters, but I don't think there will ever be another Trump. Texas is flipping blue soon enough to ensure that conservatives won't reach the White House again, which is super sick, unless they change their ways. But they don't want to change their ways because they're incredibly stubborn. I just think, here's my guess, right? Well, my guess is that they're going to get more and more and more and more reactionary and more violent and depraved because they'll see there's like no way out and they're being cornered on all sides. Like a superhero in a movie, and they just have to lash out, and they're gonna lash out like a wild animal, and it's gonna be pretty bad. It's gonna be like another shooting or something. Shootings have already come, so they're just probably gonna get worse, which is really sad. It's all over. Texas and Florida will flip soon. Virginia has flipped. The governor is threatening to use the National Guard to take guns from Virginian residents. I'm not sure if that's not true. I'm not even gonna say it. I don't think that's true. I know that's 100% not true. We're past the point of no return. It'll take a societal collapse to bring back a real capitalism. It's not just people at the bottom who receive government support. It's people at the top. No, I will agree with this take. Part of it that there are way too many people who are too rich receiving way too much government support. But that's more of a Republican and Democrat Inc. thing. Nobody likes that, except for the people getting the aid, obviously. We're socialists now. What do we do now? Stand in the bread line. Welcome to the bread line, boy. Now stand here to get your ration. Would Israel be a good option? Yes, it would, baby boy. And here's everybody's favorite white Hispanic lad, Nicholas Fuentes, talking about demographics or destiny. He's really upset. What does he have to say?
And that is demographics. That's the name of the game for this century, is rapid demographic change in America, which is driven by mass immigration.
They keep saying mass immigration, but no one ever follows up what mass immigration is. I would assume that mass immigration is like immigration that as a proportion to the population is just detrimental to the society, right? But that isn't really happening. Immigrants overwhelmingly help the country. And yeah, a lot of them are pretty bad situations. But everybody's in a pretty bad situation, honestly, in this country. People have jobs, but wages are down. Inflation is up. It's pretty bad. 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck, and it's only worse the further you go down in the bracket. I'm a Londoner. Demographic replacement is very real here. Are we gonna go down the Lawrence Southern route? I was walking in Paris, and I saw nobody eating baguettes, and I saw no French braids and no French fries. It was a mess. It was a terror. Where she just like saw a bunch of like random people. Most of them were white, even just a bunch of random people just standing around doing whatever. Ben Shapiro is all for a browner Democrat-run U.S. His handlers benefit from it. Oh, which is true. That's Shapiro. Thank you, Shapiro. Very cool. He's just the he's on the sort of right where it's like he doesn't care too much about immigration because it brings more work, and that's a neoliberal side of him. And these guys, like I said, they're further right than that. So they hate immigration and they hate people like that. Which, you know what? Solidarity, brother. We all hate neoliberals here, but for different reasons. So they will not be our friends. Mass immigration and demographic replacement is the number one issue facing the West. I would highly doubt that. We're all fine. Toronto is all Pakistani and Indian now. Ick, makes me sick. Yep, see, they see him as creatures. They don't see him as people. Civic nationalism is dead. Hopefully. We have new food. Keep groiping in the free world. Hopefully they don't groip too hard. God bless you, young man. He's so brave making a YouTube video about how brown people bad. Oh, here we go. This is one comment that I was like I wanted to respond to. What did he say? My county used to be almost entirely white, rural and conservative. Over the past decade and a half, the number of Mexicans have been moving into my county, and it is now wait, I think I read that wrong. A number of Mexicans have moved into my county and is now purple. Sick, nasty, and there's nothing wrong with that. People moving from one place to another and then existing is not a problem, but they think it is. The Mexicans are second and third generation, and they still don't act like, talk like, or think like Southern Marylanders. They probably act like Americans. Now, let me read the rest of this, because he talked about specifically second and third generation Mexicans, and they think that Mexicans are just like people who exist, and these are the same people who think like there's no difference between the word culture and the word race, and that race just like black people like rap music, and that's like coded into their DNA, and Mexicans eat tacos, and that's just like on their chromosomes, and you just can't get rid of it. They are not us and never will be like a Southern Maryland people and culture slowly being replaced. A small number of Poles came here in the 90s and have all assimilated, but the Mexicans still don't speak English. I don't know what he's talking about, right? You can look back to when the Germans came and the Irish came and the Russians came and the Jews came, all in their waves into the U.S., and for a long time, the first generation people either spoke little or absolutely no English. And this is 100% a fact. This isn't specific to Mexican people, but they want to think like it is. They want to think like white people are just like this special breed of human being, and they're all literally exactly the same. And everybody else is just this amorphous blob of hate that comes to muddy the waters and make everybody sad, and they bring their culture with them, their destructive evil culture with them. The Mexicans there, wait, did he give a time frame for this? Over the past decade and a half, he's talking about 15 years, right? So 15 years someone has lived there. There's still probably a bunch of the first generation people just there, chilling out, doing their thing. They probably set up a couple of Mexican shops, maybe a barber shop even. It's very nice. Mexican barber shops are very cool. Maybe a little food joint, you know. Maybe run a couple businesses, and they speak Spanish to each other, but lots of them can quite easily speak English. Now I work in food. I work in the food industry, right? So when I'm taking an order, and this has happened to me over the last about twice over the last month. I think exactly twice over the last month, right? He says the second and third generation Mexican people they're just not like us, and they'll never be us because they're not people, or they're at least not the same people. You can take anybody and put them in another culture and they'll be exactly like that culture. But I think culture is inextricably tied to someone's race, which is completely wrong. And let me tell you why. This happened to me like twice in about the last month, right? I live in Kentucky. We have a decent population of like Mexican people just romping about. We have a couple Mexican shops. They are very nice. The people are very nice there. And they like to speak Spanish to each other. Lots of people can speak English. Most people can speak English, but there are lots of first generation Mexican people here. And I'm not sure if you've seen this. You probably have. Let me think to yourself and let yourself know if this rings a bell. So there's a group of people, probably like an older person. You can see they're in like their late 40s, mid 50s, something like that. And they're walking with, let's say, a couple people who are about their age, or they're alone. Well, themselves as that age alone. And they have a bunch of younger people around. They just spend like 10 minutes trying to grind your mixer. Don't grind in my mixer, bro. That's illegal. You get me banned. I can't have people grinding on my mixer. Did you not find my mixer? But you have the person there. You can see they're like the aunt or uncle, or maybe a grandfather, or even dad. You know, maybe even they don't look that young. Maybe early 40s, right? But you know, they're probably. You can assume that they're first generation, right? And they're with a couple of younger people, like Gen Z, like young Gen Zers, young Zoomers, young Zoomer Mexican, or Mexican American people, right? And there's a group of them, and they're all speaking Spanish to each other. And you see them looking at the menu, and they're looking up, they're pointing at things as they're like standing there. You say hello, and the older person doesn't answer you, right? Or maybe they do, and they say hola. And the best thing happens. Probably the oldest out of the children is going to start speaking to you in fluent English. In fluent English. No accent. No nothing. They speak to you in fluent American English. And they say, and they're speaking Spanish to the family. They're doing all this, doing all that, pointing and whatever. And you say something like, I don't know, what would you like to order? And everybody looks at you. Everybody stops. They look at you. And the oldest out of the group will be like, he wants this. Can I have this with it? And you ask them questions and you just order, right? And you get through everybody's order. And that person just acts as the translator for everybody. And I think a lot of people, especially from Mexican households or Filipino households or Asian households, they find it very, very important to be American. Lots of people, obviously, they still want to bring parts of their culture with them, and that's what makes America great. But they don't want to be seen as just Mexicans. They don't like it. They want to be Americans. It's very important for them to be Americans. Even the people who come here illegally will do everything in their power to be Americans because they all want to. They didn't leave their country because they were just like, I like my country, but what if I had my country in another country? No, they came here because they want to be Americans. They want to be a part of the culture. They want to be a part of they want to be a part of us. Right? And I find that very noble. Splat, are you listening? You're Hispanic. You can tell me. I want to pick your brain for a second, right? Because I have a friend. I have two second and third generation Hispanic friends, right? And their families are very Mexican, right? Their families are first generation or like first and a half generation. They've been living in America for a while. I call that like first and a half generation. They've been living in America a while. Most of them know English. Some of them aren't super fluent, but they all respect America. They all love America. They all love being here, and they all appreciate American culture. And they either want to have Spanish in the house because that's their culture, and that's There's nothing wrong with that. If they're like a German person came here and they would like to, speak German in the house and English outside, there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of the kids either know Spanish. I've seen a lot of like second, third generation Mexican people from Mexican heritage. I don't want to call them Mexican people; they're Americans who they can listen to Spanish, but they don't speak it, and they're just plain American. Splat, let me ask you a question, right? You don't speak Spanish, but your family does. Is that correct? Am I remembering correctly? Yes. So would you say that your family, even though they would like to speak Spanish, and even though they would like for you to speak Spanish in the house, do they make an effort to be, how you would say, like outwardly facing American outside of the house? Well, kinda. Elaborate for me, because I feel like I'm gonna agree with what you say. They respect they want to respect their heritage, right? Like being from Mexican heritage, but they want they something. Oh no, no, sorry, no English, even though they wait, can they speak English? I remember a story of someone's Polish grandpa who came here, who was a first generation American Polish, and throughout his entire life, he he never spoke English. Didn't speak English once. But not like big words. Do you act as they know a little bit of English but they don't know big words? Do you what is it? Do you basically act as their translator in public? Sometimes, yeah. This is a lot of Mexican families do this when they come over, and they come like probably straight from Mexico for whatever reason. I would assume most of it is economic, or they have family here. A lot of the kids are translators, and a lot of the kids are almost completely fluent in English, and are either like you, not really fluent in Spanish, or can't speak Spanish, or they're duolingual, where they're both fluent in Spanish and English. And this isn't crazy. This is just how people work, because they want to be American when they come here. Do you know why your family is here, Splat? Why you're here in the U.S.? Like this, you don't know, but you're here, right? And your family wants to be here, right? They don't want to be in. I would assume they don't want to be in Mexico. They would like to be here. Is that correct? Like this person is perfectly okay and natural to care about the security and future of your people and your children. Like in this context, how they care, the way that they care, the way that they care. No, absolutely not, because they want to do it by denying people the freedom of movement and coming to the country to like work and live. They would prefer it here, but they also like Mexico. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with liking your country that you originate from. But they're here, and they work, and they contribute to society, and they like being here. There's nothing wrong with being nostalgic of where your family came from. Yeah, your dad works. Yeah, you just contribute to society. There's nothing wrong with that. But they hate it. They don't want other people here. Even if we ended immigration Yeah, because here's the thing now, is ending all immigration. Even if we ended immigration, could we bring our birth rates back and rebound our numbers? Sometimes I wonder. I mean, I tried to forever dodge the black pill. Hopefully someone's going to be in here in black pill. That'd be hilarious. And see, I believe we can see a surge in fertility. Not with marriage rates, my boy. I think the young people are waking up and say this needs to be done. They want to be Catholic again. They want to do the Anglo-Saxon thing. Plenty of us don't buy that shit. We are far below replacement rate. We need a boom in steady population. BRB, no problem. It seems it's time to take back our land. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, here we go. There's a J. He's doing the JQ. Wow, this one isn't even. He's just out there. He's just out there. He's doing it. Steven Crowder says convert them to the gym and everything's gonna work out. Crowder's such a puppet. Yeah, these people you would like to subscribe them things like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, but they're further right than that. They're the groypers. We're groypers here, which are just neo Nazis. Or my bad, paleo conservatives. They're paleo conservatives. I'm sorry. Here we go. And I didn't even warn you. I'm sorry, but put your freaking cringe suits on, boys. We're going deep. We're going waist deep into the muck, into the quarantine community of r/the Donald. Texas Democrat gloats about demographic replacement, says Texas will be blue by 2024. Honestly, if it is, freaking booyah, dude. Heck yeah, brother. That'd be great. This is what they did to California. Oh, no. Oh, no. We let people move, and then our party sucks, so nobody wants to vote for us. And then we're a minority party. Can you even imagine? Imagine my shock. We base our party on hating ethnic groups, and then the ethnic groups get big and then don't vote for us. Imagine my shock. I'm an endangered species in Florida. The majority are transplant, and a lot of them will vote blue no matter what. Man, I wonder what the Republicans can do about that. But to them, absolutely nothing. Oh, look at this hot one-liner, this punchback, left wing, this absolute bomb that's going to destroy the left wing. Next time a Dem starts reeing racism, if you oppose immigration, simply say, this is a democracy. I have no obligation to assist in the Democrats making this a one-party state. It doesn't have to be a one-party state if Republicans weren't, stupid. I think, what is it? 46% or something, or even higher than that, maybe over 50% of Mexican people who come here are pretty conservative, Catholic even. Mexico's a pretty conservative country. Lots of black people, especially older black people, are quite conservative. Actually, it's pretty bad. The levels of conservative they are. They don't vote for the Democrats. A lot of the reason why they don't vote for the Democrats is, they're a little bit closer to their party, to their personal beliefs. But the Republican Party has done so much to ostracize these groups of people that voting for them will absolutely be completely incompatible with your personal and material well-being. Wherever you live, 100%. These people are crazy. what is this? So he's gonna reply to this big thing and say, historically, yes, there's every bit as conservative culture as everyone else. Yes, lots of them are very conservative. They don't want to vote for the Republicans. They don't, because only white men want to vote for Republicans. And this isn't gonna be like, and don't take this as a white men thing. It's just statistically only really white men vote for it, and to a lesser extent white women. But I think most white women vote Democrat too. I think white men is literally the only constituency that votes for conservatives overwhelmingly. That's not like a religious party. Well, religious affiliation. However, mass immigration has changed the game in the past 10 or 15 years. Mass immigration in the last 10 or 15 years has changed the game. You have those who do and can vote GOP: hard workers, faith matters, families, love economy, assimilation being key. But this isn't clearly happening. It's very clearly happening. People want to assimilate. People 100% want to assimilate. They either want to assimilate or they want to work here and then go back to Mexico. Go back to Mexico. Like, there's those two people. People don't want to, like, that's ridiculous. They're like, yes, I love Mexico, but what if I could Mexico in America? People don't think like this. You committed a crime. What'd you do? Like, take a really big poop? Soon there will be a big glory as well. Well, buddy, that one didn't come true. Oh, did the cat freak out? Cats hate that when you pet them off the opposite way. There better be mass deportations and the repeal of anchor baby loophole. Oh, they want to take away birthright citizenship because they hate people being born here. Oh, so you didn't have enough time to like kill you because he was asleep. The wall won't matter. Even then, the demographics are awfully worrying. He's cringing. He's crying. Demographically, things are hecked. I'm not going to say that word, okay? Things are hecked without Latina voters, especially as we lose college whites. But 2016% of the state's birth are going to be, oh, yep, look at that. 45%, 55%. Oh, Kansas is 20%. We're still okay in terms of college. Let me check, because we have party affiliation by demographic groups here from Pew Research. Let's scroll down and see education. This is everybody. I want to see whites. Partly okay. So, with high school or less, right? Basically the same thing as a midnight murder. Oh, 100%. He's freaked out. Honestly, I think you just betrayed the love of your cat, and he'll never love you again. And it's all your fault. I hope you cry. High school or less, low educated, 58% Republican. Some college, it closes back down to like 55-40. But once you get a 4-year degree, the Democrats have a jump. And then post grad, like I said, the more, as you see, like the more educated people get, the less and less Republican they vote. Let's see what I had to say. This is back in 2016. When did this come out? It was 16 as well, 2018. So it was 2 years later. See, look at that. Look at that. They hate him. They hate him, and rightfully so. Do not like them. Women do not like them. It's just This side over here is the here we go. We have college educated whites, but it's just by state. But it as like a total. Whoop, where'd it go? Where'd you go? College educated, here you are. But as a total, you know, some college 4-year degree, they're gonna start to lose them, and they've been keeping on losing them. See, in 2017, 49% of white voters with college degree, with no additional education in line with the Democratic Party, compared to 46% of the GOP. % shift among the Democrat is significant for sure. Don't count on it. Admitting the plan. Oh, no. They know. They know that we're trying to destroy America and elect a Marxist dream of pure anarcho-communism where we have no money and everybody gets what they get based on their ability and their needs. Finally, and like I said, they're all going to be rounded up and put into the gulag. Here's this one thing I found on r/the new right, which I'm pretty sure is going to get shut down. Remember, if you don't remember, it's because you don't watch me, and I hate you for that. If you remember, I went over this one subreddit. It was called, what was it called? What was its name? Zoomer right. It was like a, it was the Groiper meme subreddit. And when I viewed it, it had 6,000 followers, and then later that month, it got shut down. So these poor guys are probably on their way too. But look at this one. The reason the GOP fails is because they're too stubborn to learn from their mistakes, and that's why they lose. Fascism works. We got fascists in chat, boys. We got fascists in chat. Fascism works, guys. It works, guys. Come on. You guys should love fascism, right? Intimidation works. How many people do you see wearing Trump hats and Trump paraphernalia versus how many you see wearing anti-Trump stuff? I live in Kentucky. I see a lot of people coming through to my restaurant with Trump stuff on, with pro-Trump stuff on. A lot of it. I don't think I've ever seen an anti-Trump hat or anything. I don't think I've ever seen it. Ever. I've never seen it. As far as I remember. I've seen pro other parties, but I've never seen anti-Trump stuff. But I think it just depends on where you live. This is where it's opened up. And the reason you don't come out and see it publicly and comment a sense of support of Trump because you know they will do something about it. See, this doesn't happen to just regular people wearing Trump stuff, but it does happen to fascists, which I'm 100% for. Make a fascist scared. Make a racist scared again. 100%. You should be scared to come out with that sort of belief. You should be terrified. And hopefully it can beat it out of you. Listen, fascism is like a fire. All right? It can either die out softly and quietly, like a fire when it burns up all of its fuel, or it needs to be stomped out. And we can hope that it just needs to blow out by itself. But if it needs to be stomped out, we should always have a boot ready. And they're really mad because the Republicans, they're not grapers. This is all this is. So there you go. The right hates, the new right absolutely hates the demographic change. They can't do anything about it, and they don't want to change their ways. So they're just gonna keep hating until they get more and more violent, and they're gonna have to be put down in Minecraft. So what can you do? But I think that's it. I think that's it for this topic, honestly. So what do we do now? I'm going to restart the stream just so I can like cut that off there, and then we can move